Good evening, Russia. Welcome to the American Center in Moscow, programming with me, Artem Kotev. Today, we are going to talk about Martin Luther King Jr. Day within the program that we called American Holidays for Kids. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you enjoy. Stay with us, ask questions if you have any, and I will get to them. Before we get started um, uh, with our MLK Day event, I would like us to briefly look over the holidays that we will talk about in the next 4 months. On February 3rd, we are going to talk about Groundhog Day. On March 17th, we'll be talking about St. Patrick's Day. On April 21st, the meeting is going to be about Earth Day. And on May 5th, we are going to talk about National Space Day. All of those meetings are on Monday at 6 p.m. Moscow time. All right. And we have also just launched a new program for kids ages 6 to 8, English for Kids. I am the facilitator of those meetings. We meet every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Moscow time. We have interactive lessons, sessions where children learn new words, sing songs, read popular American books, dance, and participate in creative activities. The next meeting is going to be this Wednesday on January 22nd. Please join us. All right. And today we are going to talk about Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King was born in Atlanta, Georgia. He is a famous activist, leader, and minister. Minister is someone who works in the church. And today in America, we celebrate MLK Day. And since today is January 20th, it is the third Monday of January, and Martin Luther King Jr. Day is celebrated every year since Ronald Reagan wrote this in the law. And here you can see the monument, the memorial to Martin Luther King Jr. that is in Washington, D.C. And Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States. So if you are ever in Washington, D.C., you can see this monument in Washington, D.C. So, and who was Martin Luther King Jr.? Martin Luther King Jr. was a leader who fought for fairness and kindness. He asked everyone in the country to be kind and polite with one another. He also wanted people of all colors to live happily together. Back then, a long time ago, there was racism in the US, and Martin Luther King wanted all people to live in harmony, regardless of the color of your skin. Later on, he would be participating in a lot of protests. And on one of them that was called People's March on Washington, he would give his famous speech called "I Have a Dream." That would be a landmark speech in the US, and everyone would know. I would like us to watch a video with this speech, and then afterwards we're going to do something else. This is an excerpt from Sesame Street, from the show episode about Martin Luther King Jr. We are just going to watch a really short excerpt from the speech, "I Have a Dream."
dream. My four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
All right, so that was an excerpt from the speech. The speech is much longer than just the 30 seconds that we watched. So basically, the speech is about African Americans wanting the same rights as white people in the US, as racism was prevalent at that time in the US. And many people agreed with Martin Luther King Jr. And on MLK Day, people not only remember this message, but there are many, many ways how you can celebrate. You can celebrate by reading the books, watching the movies, by doing other activities. But among the most popular things to do during MLK Day, it is to help others, because um, Martin Luther Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day is also sometimes called National Service Day at the same time. And there are the ways how you can participate and contribute during this day. So on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, what can you do? How can you help each other? Many families can volunteer their time in many places like the food banks, or clean up the parks, or help their elderly neighbors. For example, read books to other children, and so many more. Another thing that you can personally do is that you can do your chores. And chores, as you could see this in the picture, is sort of like helping around the house. Is like washing the dishes, uh, cleaning, wiping down the surface, or mopping the floors, or sweeping the floors. Something that how you can contribute to your own family. Uh, Let us know in the comments what kind of chores you do, and have you ever volunteered before in your life? Please let us know in the comments to this video, and I will later get your responses, and I will review them. Uh, what else can you do other than doing your chores and volunteer? You can learn and educate. Like, for example, one of those ways how you can learn and educate is uh, stopping by different lectures, or talks like the talk we have today. Uh, and this is really important to talk about race, um, and racism as well. Yeah, so there are so many ways, and we will even look at one of the arts and crafts at the end of this session that you can also do uh, with your on your own, with your friends, and so, stuff like this. Think of, uh, I want you, maybe write us as a comment, or maybe think about this for a second. Think of one way you can help someone today. And maybe let us know in the comments if you want, or maybe keep it to yourselves. But think about one way you can help someone today. It could be very small sometimes. Like, for example, giving a piece of chocolate to the person you love, for example, when you see them that they're sad, for example, or help pets, for example, or um, or volunteer in any other way that you can, for example, or help your parents. For example, if you have siblings, maybe help your parents with your well, looking after your siblings, and and kind of like uh, stuff like this. So think about, so there are so many ways, but let us know in the comments, what do you personally think you can help with today? hmm And let us know in the comments. All right. One of the ways people also celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day is by doing arts and crafts. And there are so many ways what kind of crafts you can personally make. And this arts and crafts that we are that we can do during this holiday, one of them could be helping handcraft. Helping handcraft that we are going to do together as in this live stream. We haven't sent you any information about how to make those helping hands. So what I suggest is doing is watching the video first, and I mean our live stream. Then when the live stream is over, you can go back and rewatch it and do arts and crafts with the person who is going to show us arts and crafts. And not only helping hand is one of the famous arts and crafts that you could do during the MLK Day, but you can also do other arts and crafts that is popular during this holiday. So let's watch the video tutorial to this arts and craft.
I can draw the sun and the stars and the moon. I can draw anything. How about you?
Ready, set, draw!
Amanda, you have an activity for us. Why don't you share it?
Yes, and it ties right into that idea of helping hands and working together. And the activity is actually called Helping Hands. So today we're going to create our own helping hand. So for this activity, you are going to need either a blank piece of paper, or you can use one of the templates on my website. You're also going to need some scissors and some things to write with. I like to use a pencil, and you may want some markers too. I have my trusty old Sharpie here, and then I have all of my nice colored markers.
I have them right here.
Great, Rocco. Well, step one is actually a little bit of writing. We're going to just take a minute to reflect on a time that we helped someone, writing down what did you do to help them and how did it make you feel? Do you want to share what you wrote down?
Yeah, I helped my neighbor with a project.
Great. And how did that make you feel?
It made me feel needed.
I wrote a similar thing. I said that I am an art teacher, so I help my students come up with ideas for their art projects. And it makes me feel really good when they can come up with something that they feel really proud of. And then step two is going to be to write down your response to how you've helped someone inside your hand. You can either write it, you can also draw it, or you can do both. And these are some examples here. So this one is a time that this person helped grandma in her garden. So they felt fun, they felt kind, and they felt happy, and then they drew out a garden. And this one here is showing a time where this person helped their brother feel better when he was crying. They gave him a hug and it made him smile. So once you're all done drawing and designing your hand, we're going to cut it out so that we can hang it on our wall as a reminder to always lend a helping hand.
I'm ready.
Let's cut these hands out. Let's see our hands, Rocco.
There we are.
Yay!
That was a great activity. And you know what you can also do? In our comments section, please share.
All right, so that was a wonderful art and craft. Again, a helping hand that you can personally make something like this. Think about all of the ways that you can that you can think of to put this on your helping hand craft. As you can see here, the speaker, the speakers put, for example, I help my grandma in her garden, and they put words fun, kind, and happy. And there was also another example, which is like, for example, smile, and then I help my brother, and so many things. Think about this way how you can contribute to this art and craft. And it is really easy to trace your hand and then put, and decorate your own hand, or the hand of your parents or other adults, or maybe other friends, and then put words that you can associate with this. Let us know in the comments, what kind of hands would you do if you were to do this craft? What kind of adjectives would you put? Adjectives are those words like fun, kind, happy, and what kind of adjectives would you put on your helping hand? So we would like to know. If you can, let us know. And what kind of action would you put in this helping hands? Would you help your grandma in your garden, if you have a garden, or something else? Please let us know. And make sure to rewatch this video if you're going to do this arts and craft. It's important to go back. When our live stream is over, you can go back. There'll be a recording where you can see this video again with the tutorial on arts and craft. Unfortunately, since the video is too short, like a 3-minute video, we are not able to do this like right away. But maybe if you can, if you are fast enough, you can do this. So the materials are in the beginning of the video, which is just a piece of paper, pencil, right, and colored pencils or crayons, markers that you could use to do this arts and craft. Not really difficult one, so you can do it on your own at your own time, at any time. And engage your friends, family members, and other people to do this arts and craft. Because again, as this part of this holiday, it is important to do this together as a community. So you can even collect those, helping hand crafts as like, and make a little display of your art. For example, put this on the wall with your friends, like make a sort of like a tree of helping hands if you wish. So it's would be a really cool decision. So yeah, make this arts and craft, and next time when we see each other in the next month, or if you join us for English for kids on Wednesday, let us know what you did in terms of your helping hand craft project. So we would like to learn more about. Yeah. So please let us know. Yeah. So after watching this video that we just did, like the arts and crafts, did you think of any other ways so you can help your community today? Again, please let us know in the comments, because we would really like to know. And especially since you have a more clear idea of what you can personally do, that would be much more fun to tell us in the comments, or maybe tell it to someone else. Share it with us today or on Wednesday if you join us for English class for kids, or any other time. I would also like to know, maybe in the comments, somewhere in the comments, if you could give it to us as a kind of like piece of information. Have you ever heard of MLK Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day? Is there a holiday that could be similar in Russia? Are there any arts and crafts that you would personally add to the list other than helping hand? Please let us know. Um, Today, in many communities around the US, people will be gathering for MLK Day, not only for doing arts and crafts and volunteering, but there'll be some parades. There'll be some book readings in some communities. The libraries and the other public buildings are closed for today because people here in the US usually do not work on MLK Day. So, because it's a federal holiday, so a lot of places are closed. For example, the university where I work is closed today, uh, and the public library is closed. But people are finding the ways how you can uh, meet with each other. Because, like, for example, today, later in the day, I'm going to a party with some of my friends where we are going to celebrate sort of like a national service day in a sense of MLK Day. We are going to make some food. We will have some drinks, and we will also have a good time with other people that I cherish and love in my life. So we will do some of the activities during the on the MLK Day later on today. Uh, yeah, so this is a kind of like one of the traditions during this holiday to celebrate this. Like in a way, how you can personally involve your friends and family, and stuff like this. So please let us know, and let us know in the comments if you like joining in your friends and family members for like parties and gatherings, get-togethers, or something like this. Please let us know in the comments. We would like to know. Probably you do, but just to make sure that you can do this with us. All right. So I just also wanted to like make a comment about generally the monument. My presentation started with this monument, right? And there's this monument here. Yeah, it is a very big monument memorial in Washington D.C. And again, as I said, if you have ever time to either visit this here in the U.S. or you can visit this virtually using the Google Earth, I guess that the app is called, so you can look at this memorial, which is in Washington, D.C., not so far from the White House, where the inauguration of the incoming president is scheduled to be today. So many people will be gathering near this memorial for this day. So yeah, tell us if you would like to ever see this monument, visit this with some of your friends and families, or maybe on your own. Just please let us know. I just wanted to go quickly back here and kind of like to get the whole message of Martin Luther King as a person. You have heard that during this day people are people are helping each other, people are supporting each other, people are um, doing arts and crafts, and this is the message that Martin Luther King passed on to us, that we need to help each other. And he was promoting this by so many ways that we cherish until this day. So if you can, take this message and help other people in your own communities, because this is what Martin Luther King Jr. wanted for us, is to be kind and fair with other people, and create a harmonious relationships generally with others. Mhm. Um, and and uh, in this speech, I Have a Dream, he also talked about generally how people would be helping the communities that you watched previously. Yeah, so this is where people gathered for People's March. People were also gathering for People's March on January 18th, which was Saturday. across the U.S. So that was one of those moments when how people can commemorate the famous people like Martin Luther King by participating in actions like this, for example, which is here is just the video from Washington D.C., where the Lincoln Memorial is inside of this building. All right. And since we are going closer to the kind of like the end of our meeting, and before going to the question part of this meeting, and generally sort of like asking questions back and forth, I just wanted to reiterate the things that we are going to do during the upcoming months. On February 3rd, again, as we are going to talk about Groundhog Day, which is very soon. The idea about Groundhog Day, whether the groundhog is going to show his shadow, and whether the winter is going to be long as kind of like if it's going to be a long winter or it will be early spring, for example. St. Patrick's Day on March 17th celebrates Irish culture, because there are many Irish Americans here. And on this day, people go to different kinds of parades and participate in different activities. On Earth Day, which is a very important day about our planet, will be on April 21st. We will see some cool things about how we can preserve our planet in terms of environmental part of that. So please join us on April 21st as well. And on May 5th, we're going to talk about National Space Day, which is, you can see like the spaceship, a rocket here, because talking about space is one of the important things, especially now in the 21st century with space progress going on into the highest of heights, and people are exploring, the space, even can travel as a tourist to space. So that's pretty magnificent, I would think. So again, please join us on February 3rd for Groundhog Day at 17 o'clock Moscow time. We will talk about Groundhog Day, and we will be happy to see you all there. And I have included here the picture of how happy we would be when you join us for any of our events with the American Center, especially if you are a child. And I have included this cute doggy here, is generally how it represents how happy we are to always see you in our meetings. So thank you for joining us. And let's maybe get to the questions if anyone might have any questions. And I will get to your questions and answer them in this kind of menu. All right. So we have questions. So the question number one, how do kids in America celebrate this day? Is the idea to help other people? Do they get presents? Oh, this is a good question. So kids in America, how they celebrate is that they help their communities. As I already said before, people volunteer, people help in their communities, people read books, gather with their classmates and do some other fun activities. So generally, the idea is to help other people. So it's kind of like a national service day, or like National Volunteering Day, when people are helping each other if they can. So yeah, so this is the way how people celebrate this day. And other ways how you can celebrate is also you can read the books. You can also watch the movies, animated films, and other videos that are available on YouTube, for example, or other platforms that you could see. About the presents, I have never heard of getting presents for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, because I mean, is in terms of like materialistic way, because like for example for Christmas or some other holidays you get a physical present that you give to another person, but this idea of this holiday is that you help other people, and by helping other people this is going to be a gift to other people. So it's kind of like sharing your time, volunteering, helping other people. This is the present itself, I would say. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. But if you have any more questions, please let me know. Mhm. Question 2. Do American kids get a day off from school for this holiday? Yes, they do. Yeah, yes, they do. Because schools are considered to be public organizations, and public organizations such as schools, post offices, universities, and libraries, and some other buildings are normally closed on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, or MLK Day in short. So uh, it's just a tradition of giving people a time off to do activities such as volunteering and helping other people, so people would have the time for this and to commemorate the person of one of the greatest leaders in the U.S. history. So it's kind of like the holiday that would get public recognition. Let's put it this way. All right. The next question. If I went to the US on this day, what would I see people doing? Uh, this is also a good question. So, what would you see people doing? So, if you were to arrive in the US, like, or if you are in the US right now, it is maybe your first day in the US and you arrive somewhere in the US, you would see that people, again, are helping one another. People are educating each other on race and rights, and kind of like as a general image of in the spirit of helping each other. So you would definitely see other people helping each other, and you will probably would like to help as well. So if you would be here on this day, uh, the way how you can also participate in this holidays, you can ask someone and tell them, all right, so I heard about MLK Day. How can I help you? And you would hear them tell you like, for example, oh, like, let's put the bags of food for other people, which is like a very popular tradition on MLK Day, when the kids and their parents and teachers, guardians, other people are collecting food to donate to food banks, non-perishable food. Non-perishable food, it is like something that will not spoil in a short run. Like for example, you can donate like canned foods, like like the peas in the can, or like corn in the can, or beans and other things that will be helpful for people, or like rice, or pasta, tomato sauce, and like and so much more, or produce like carrots or potatoes, or even meat, and and so stuff like this. So this is what people would be doing on this day, and this is probably what you would see people do. And some of the sort of like smaller scale parades that people do, in like streaming of the movies and animated films and reading the books in certain places. Question 4. What did Martin Luther King do that was so important? So Martin Luther King was fighting for the rights of African Americans or Black people, for the rights to be um, recognized that they are equal uh, at the level of law with the white people. So it's kind of Martin Luther King was fighting with racism. Racism, it is when people say hurtful and mean hurtful things about the color of the skin of other people. So, and Martin Luther King Jr. tried to tell basically Americans to overcome uh, this situation. And when he gave his landmark speech, I Have a Dream, he talked about that he wanted his kids who are Black to go to the schools where white people go, to go to the same libraries, to work with the same people, and certainly have the same rights. So that was the general message in I Have a Dream. Of course, he had some other actions, and one of them was kind of like the public bus. Um, sort of like protests where back then in the US a long time ago, not that generally a long time ago, like maybe generally in the 20th century, maybe like in the 1960s or something like this, that was the situation was that white and Black people were separated by color. Like, for example, Black people would have their own bathrooms and white people would have their own bathrooms, or white people will be riding the bus in this section of the bus, and Black people will be riding in that section of the bus. So people were separated from each other, and you will not be able to use the same kind of like seats that, for example, white people use and stuff like this. So generally, Martin Luther King was fighting for kind of like of this idea that there should be no racism in the U.S. or generally in any other country in the world, because Martin Luther King was so much more than just being a human rights leader here in the U.S. All right. And we get to our next question, which is, what kind of helping do kids in America do? Do they go to dog shelters, for example? Oh, good question. Dog shelters is one of the ideas where you can personally go. I would say on MLK Day, and especially to kind of like helping with sort of like the operations of those dog shelters, in terms of like buying the food for for the dog shelters, or generally volunteer your time to walk the dogs, or something like this. Even sort of like spending time with with the dogs sometimes helps the dog shelter. So this could be one of those things. The other thing, as I already said, you can help people donate food to the food banks. This is one of the ideas. Um, if it's not possible to donate food to the food banks, another thing how you can personally help other people is that you can do smaller steps in terms of like, if you see, for example, someone is being sad, you can make them a card, and you can help them be happy, for example. This is one of the ways how you can help. Or if you see someone hungry, you can give them food, and you will be um happy to sort of like contribute to the society where you live in. So it's kind of like a very fun way of helping other people, is sort of like think, oh, what I would like to get is in terms of like help. And ask people around. Sometimes people are hesitant. People do not want to say what they need help with. Like, for example, after this event here, you can go ask your parents or other adults or any other people that your brothers, sisters, and friends. So ask them, what can I help you with? What can I help you with is a very good question, because it differs from how can I help you? Because if you ask, how can you help me? Sometimes people don't know how you can help. But if you say, what can I help you with? It gives them a way of what can people do. Like, for example, if I ask, what can I help you with? And I will get like the answer, like, for example, oh, you can help me make a salad, or you can help me make a card, or you can help me wipe down the surface or like mop the floor, for example, or you can help me make a cake, or you can help me with, read the book, or write an email or something like this. So there are many ways how you can personally help others. All right, so I guess that leaves us with no more questions. And as I see no other comments that were left in our live stream, again, thank you very much for joining us. Please join us on February 3rd again at 17 o'clock for Groundhog Day. And for English Club for Kids on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Moscow time. So join us. Let us know if you would like more of those children and youth programming, and if you actually liked our meeting today. So let us know in the comments below, or on our Telegram chat and channel, and like other social media platforms. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. Think about one way how you can help other people, and live with this message of hope, kindness, and fairness from Martin Luther King that said, I have a dream, and please join us for other programming. Thank you and goodbye. Have a good night.